Welcome.
Thank you very
to
much.
IoT
Thanks for
Stars.
having me.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. This Mobile World Congress 2025 has been amazing so far. It's only the middle, but extremely busy. So many use cases, customers, partners, friends. Unbelievable.
So you've been here for 2 days already, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But maybe before we discuss MWC, it makes sense to tell a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Itamar Kunik. I'm the co-founder and CEO for Monogoto. Alongside with my partner Maor, we started Monogoto, helping developers and enterprises build the best connected device that they can. So we understand that everything gets connected around us, and connectivity is not something very easy. You can build a connected device, find a cellular provider that puts a SIM card inside, and that's it. But sometimes you want to have sophisticated solution. You want to build something that reliably connects across borders, across networks, and even across last miles. Because now we understand that public cellular connectivity is one thing. But what happens if I'm underground? What happens if I'm in a parking garage? What happens if my warehouse or my facility doesn't have coverage? Down to even the situation that you can be on the road between places of cellular coverage, where the only thing that might help you is satellite connectivity. So what we developed is an API platform that sits on top of everything and allows you to stay connected between public, private, and cellular and satellite last miles.
Okay, cool. So no coverage gaps anymore.
Exactly.
Awesome. And how was the conference for you?
It's really good because we're seeing the evolution of the products. Now, the people who develop these solutions, the electrical vehicles, the chargers, the humanoid robots, all of these AI tags, everything around us gets connected. But the focus now is about the experience that the customer receives. So if you remember a few years ago, you could buy an IoT button. You had to long press a button, and then it sets up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and your phone needs to connect it, and then it's very cumbersome. Now everyone is focused about giving the best experience. And just like I mentioned before, if I have a device and I'm outside of an area of connectivity, that's a bad experience for the customer. They don't understand that they're in an area without coverage. So everything that I mentioned is what we call software-defined connectivity. It's the ability to allow the product owner to give the best experience for the customer.
Cool. And software-defined connectivity, can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes, of course. So I'll do a parallel from regular networking. Now everything is software-defined. Your IT department goes and a few presses of the button, everything gets rerouted, and everything is software-defined. You don't need to go and physically do the changes. In connectivity, it's exactly the same. Up until a few years ago, developers and enterprises, they had to call an operator. Oh, can you please set up a VPN? We have a requirement. Oh, please, we are conscious about our cyber posture. Can you block ports or enable a few firewall rules? Nowadays, the developers, the enterprises, they want to do everything with an API, with self-service, in a way that it's constantly evolving and not something hard-coded that every change requires weeks, etc.
Okay, so all these things that you just mentioned can be done in the Monogoto platform.
Yeah, of course. So the concept of having the best connected product is something that continuously evolves, right? So everyone who drove a Tesla knows it, that you have a Tesla and a month later you have a different Tesla. Now you can summon it. Now it can park on itself. So this constantly evolving connected product, that's really the benefits of having a software-defined connectivity. It's not something that is very hard-coded that you set up for one time. This is something dynamic and flexible.
Okay, awesome. And on top of that, you are also going to demonstrate, or you maybe already did it, live connection with satellites, right?
Oh, definitely. So we're doing 3 workshops this event. And by the way, everything is available on YouTube, so you can watch this. So one demonstration, one workshop that we do is how easy and quickly you can set up a private network. You go to our website, next, you buy the kit, you get it a couple of days later, and in a couple of hours, you have a private network up and running.
Sorry,
So
with
that-
satellite, right? With
So
satellite.
the first one that we're showing is the private network.
Okay, yeah.
The second one that we're showing is the non-terrestrial networks,
Yeah.
the satellite.
Yeah.
So showing the ability to connect to a satellite network.
Okay.
And the third one that we're showing, this is kind of an evolution of the eSIM. It's the newest protocol available called SGP32.
Yeah.
So with these three demos, if you combine them into one product, what you can see is that you can have real-time deployments of profiles that might connect to public networks, private networks, or even satellites. Software-defined connectivity.
Awesome. So you have so if you combine, so you can combine this eUICC. That's it, right? The
Yep.
SGP.
It's-
You can combine it with the NTN.
Exactly. So you can have this SGP32 to download your Monogoto profile.
Yeah.
With your Monogoto profile, you can connect to many public networks. You can connect to your own private network, or you can connect to satellite. And all of that is configured via API or via our platform in a way that you can dynamically change as
Okay.
time progresses.
And when a customer with Monogoto SIM wants to use NTN, do they need to use a specific module vendor, or is it like open to all?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And here, just a comparison,
Yeah.
if you have a 4G device and you want to connect to a 5G network,
Yeah.
you definitely need to have a modem, a cellular modem
Yeah,
that
yeah.
supports 5G.
Yeah. Okay.
For the non-terrestrial network,
Yeah.
that is very similar. In order
Okay.
to support narrowband IoT
Yeah.
over satellite,
Yeah.
you have to have a modem that supports GSMA Release 17. Basically, it's a new type of modem.
Yeah.
The benefits are, once you get it, that the price difference is not very high. Instead of having a cellular modem, then parallel to that,
Okay.
a complete different satellite solution that costs dozens of dollars on the bill of material and dozens of dollars on a monthly service. Here it's a couple of dollars increase in the bill of material and $1 or $2 in a monthly service.
Okay, but then it will work with both like NTN and narrowband IT and also the
4G, regular
yeah, okay,
4G,
okay, that's
private
awesome.
network, etc.
It's funny you said narrowband IT.
Yeah.
You do something with narrowband IT again, or
So the concept of NTN relies on narrowband IoT over
Okay.
satellite.
Yeah.
Like many others, we see that there is a challenge with narrowband
Yeah, of
IoT
course, yeah.
because it's much simpler to use
LTE.
Cat1
Yeah.
or regular LTE or Cat1 bis. But when you talk about satellite, the concept of narrowband IoT is extremely useful.
Okay.
So the GSMA Release 17 NTN, non-terrestrial network, relies on narrowband IoT over satellite.
Does it mean that you also see more potential for narrowband IT in general then? Now, or
This is kind of like looking at the sphere and predicting the future.
Yeah.
So I'll be cautious a little bit, but we do see that there is a convergence that more and more 4G products are using Cat1 and less narrowband IoT.
Yeah.
Because for that specific use case, it's a little bit less relevant.
Yeah.
For 5G, NR, or for those situations, there will be a different solution for low bandwidth, low energy.
Yeah.
For 4G, Cat1 really works and enables the developers to have a good solution. But the ability to do over satellite requires this narrow band and low energy, which still utilizes narrowband IoT over satellite.
Okay. I know that no one likes to do predictions, but when you do it, it will be interesting because you were a couple of years ago very skeptical about narrowband IT. So that's why, no?
Yes. Again, it's being active in this industry. You get the gut feeling. You understand what works and what doesn't work. Yeah. And one of the beautiful things about cellular is this repeatable protocol that you continuously use again and again, and it's extremely solid. So the narrowband IoT was kind of like going a little bit to the side, trying to solve a problem where there are other solutions that are able to solve it. Yeah. That's why we were skeptical. And we see it because on the technology side, it's one thing, but now you have the commercial sides and agreement and between operators, etc. So we could see in advance that it's not going to be the best of things. There are still available products that use narrowband IoT. Most of them have backward compatibility or an alternative way to use regular LTE, which is good because if there is sunset, like there is now in multiple locations, sunset, turning off the narrowband IoT, then those devices will not get stuck, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's going to be a challenge. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.